I think you're hallucinating.
I didn't say any of those things.
You sound hinged, dude. Are you crashing out, Hassan?
Ethan, I didn't.
Hassan, are you crashing out?
I gave you.
Do you have friends who are aware of the condition and can help you get the help you need?
Okay, Ethan.
You're delusional.
You featured Destiny's podcast.
I said he discovered the IP ban. Is that not true? I said Dan Saltman discovered the IP ban. That's all I said. I didn't endorse. All I said is he discovered the IP ban. Is that true? Is that materially true?
You can't answer that question. It doesn't matter. Pivot. Come on, Hassan, pivot. I'm going to coach Hassan out. Pivot. Don't answer that question. Just pivot and say you didn't need to bring it up or talk about something totally different. Come on.
I don't think
it is. It is.
I think someone in Destiny's community did it, but it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So how is that an endorsement?
Yes, you got it.
Ethan,
what
are you claiming that
is this
you
what
don't
you do whenever you're trying to avoid?
Yes.
Ethan?
No, Ethan's calling you out on your pivoting. Shit. Okay, we can't do the thing where you just say his name or laugh anymore. We got to find a new strategy, Hassan. Okay? Oh
Hassan,
no.
Are you hallucinating?
Ethan,
Hassan,
do you not correspond with Destiny's podcast co-host Dan Saltman?
I've talked to Dan Saltman, but also I don't think that that's Destiny, is it?
Well,
yeah, no.
Do you think that Destiny might communicate through Dan, and there's like a kind of a Mossad-like, well, I don't mean Mossad, but like some kind of intelligence share? Oh my God!
Just his podcast co-host and is perfectly aligned with him and uses his community to brigade. By the way, and also has literally tried to blackmail people in Destiny's own community.
I don't really fucking care because that's not Destiny, is it?
Unearthing sex crimes that he did.
Man, you are really hallucinating.
Do you feel like that's a good person to align with?
I'm
not endorsing him.
Openly admit.
I'm not endorsing him at all. I just said I've spoken to him.
No, yeah, you're not endorsing him. You're just getting information.
Have you ever
from him
spoken to somebody you don't endorse? I mean, what kind of silly...
You understand that of all the people on this show right now, the person who is associated the most with Destiny is Hassan, right? Does Hassan know that? Hassan, you gotta stop talking about this because Ethan might bring that up and it's gonna get real awkward. Like, the person who has spent by far the most amount of time, okay, with anybody, or with Destiny on the show is Hassan.
Bullshit are we doing here?
Certainly.
Well, there you go. Oh my God.
And Ethan's counter here should be, oh, so if you even talk to a person, you're endorsing them. What about Bad Empanada? Roll the old Hassan clips about how unhinged Bad Empanada is. Roll the new Hassan clips with him standing Bad Empanada. Oof, that's a hard one.
Endorse. I'm speaking of one right now.
You talked to Dan Saltman. You're fucking outed as a Destiny's best friend.
Ethan, you're the one who admitted that just now.
I said I've spoken with Dan Saltman, not that I'm a Destiny collaborator, which is what you claim, which isn't outright pathetic.
Okay, Destiny collaborator? You're making me sound like a fucking Nazi. Can we chill? Jesus.
Provably wrong lie. And this is part of your disinformation campaign to delegitimize my points without ever having to address them. And isn't that convenient? You never have to address anything I say because you can just say, Ethan's friends with Destiny. Ethan's hallucinating.
True.
Ethan, I don't think I need to. I didn't bring up Destiny. You did.
Yeah, also, because you lied about me for 2 years working with.
I love Hassan of all. Hassan is maybe the only person on the planet, or one of the last people on the planet that could ever say that, like, oh, no, you brought up Destiny, not me. Dude, he taught that one clip of, God, what were we watching? And I was like, bro, hold on. Oh, it was Noah Samson accusing me of talking about Hassan all the time. And I opened Hassan's stream, and the first words out of his mouth were about me. Holy shit. Oh, no.
With him.
2 years.
That's right. Hassan.
Oh, did he just bring it up?
2 years working with him.
True.
2 years.
That's right. Hassan. Listen.
Ethan, this is kind of embarrassing to admit, but I defended you both to my community and in general because I thought that you were a lot more open-minded. Until
what have we disagreed on?
Open-minded?
What have we disagreed on? I'm sorry. What am I not open-minded about? What have we disagreed on, Hassan, other than me criticizing you and your friends? What have I said against the Palestinian people? Go ahead. What we are
disagreeing on is what you choose to focus on.
That seems significant.
What you think is the major point of contention here.
You can only talk about the genocide.
First of all,
the genocide.
What I choose to focus on is certainly something you can critique.
A little frivolous.
Does that justify like lying about me continually for a year and a half just because you don't like where I'm focused? That seems immaterial.
Lying about what?
About me being a Destiny fan, about hallucinating, sweeping for your anti-Semitic friends, lying about context, saying that my video's out of context without watching it. Hassan, take your time.
Do you feel like your video wasn't out of context?
Absolutely not.
Was it a compilation of a 2-hour sequence of out of context clips?
You want to do this? What's out of context?
Oh!
Name one.
No! We have to pull the plug. You gotta pull the plug. You gotta pull the plug. Okay? The ultimate. This is literally the curtain on the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz, the guy is the out of context, and then when you pull the curtain back, it's saying, what do you mean by out of context? Or what's out of context? You can't do that. You can't go there. Oh no, you can't go there. You can't do that. Pull the plug. Somebody unplug this guy's internet. Get Valkyrie over there. Unplug the cable.
One thing. Go ahead, read the chat. Someone will send you on Discord.
No. I have it readily available.
Well, I'll wait.
I actually still have a son. Oh, I do have a son added on Discord. I should message him and say, dude, pull the plug.
one of the major points that you made that I've seen through other people's coverage of it so far is that I deny rapes happening on October 7th. Okay? That I deny rapes happening on October 7th. There's a clip of you when you first encounter that statement where you are actually understanding of my position until your wife stops you and says that's inappropriate. You literally say, oh, he's saying the likelihood of rapes happening does not justify genocide, which you agree a genocide is happening.
Uncontested.
Ever since then, though, months later, you still chose.
Her name is Hila, by the way, Hassan. I don't know why you refer to her as my
wife.
wife. I find that a little chauvinistic, frankly. You know who she is. You know her well. You've begged for Teddy Fresh from her many times. So, like, yeah, you know who she is. You've written her emails asking for clothing. Her name is Hila. I mean, so why don't you say that?
Okay.
Who goes, oh, your wife? Like, she's not.
Weird.
She has no. She's just like, oh.
Hassan, it's not a big point, and also I hate women now too, so I don't bring it up that much. But Hassan is genuinely misogynistic, but like in like a frat boy misogynistic kind of way, which is funny. But
I wasn't. Can you respond to what I was saying?
Yes, absolutely. With great pleasure, I will respond.
Why is it that you initially understood the full context until Hila stopped you and said, no.
I'll answer. Would you like me to answer? That's one example of many. Seeing your response in the totality of all the responses shows that you do deny the rapes that happened on October 7th. In fact,
the totality of all my responses.
In fact, you had promised me, and I knew you would never lie to me, that you would watch the context puke with me. So why don't we pull up that bit there, and we can see how out of context it is.
Boom. Do it.
Great. Someone pulling that, Dan?
oh no, oh,
How you doing? I'm waiting for the link. You good?
Am I? Oh yeah, I'm great. I don't think this is going the way you perceived it to be going. But
oh no, Hassan is trying so hard. Oh no.
I mean, you're reading your chat. Do you think that's the
I'll
most
be honest
accurate
with you,
way
I was thinking about being a lot more stern initially, but this has turned into the last conversation that we had where I am trying to gently nudge you in the direction of sanity.
Ethan, I want you to really understand.
You're just
crazy.
insane. Yeah,
You're crashing out. You're
insane.
hallucinating,
You're crazy,
my friend.
Ethan.
Come sit over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're crazy, Ethan.
Don't ignore the swastika. Ignore the accusations of working with the ADL with no credibility. Ignore the tier list with fucking Ben Shapiro and Ethan. Come sit here. You're hallucinating. Oh, thank you so much for. You know what? Thank you, Hassan. That's so kind of you. How fucking genuine of you to take off the baby gloves.
So nice, Hassan.
Fucking liar.
Ooh.
I mean, this is
true.
You are a prolific liar, bro.
He is.
Where's the link?
He is. Good call out. True. He is.
Just control F or.
the reason, for the record, the reason why I don't like to bring Hila into the conversation is because I'm addressing my concerns with you, and I don't think that it's appropriate for me to, you know, extend
well, you
the
just,
lens of
I mean, that's a little silly
people.
considering you're like, well, actually, it was Hila who influenced your opinion, the evil IDF lady.
Yeah, I think he has said that. Yep.
Anyway.
Okay, while we're waiting for the clip.
No, I got it.
Deny the
okay.
violent rapes that took place. That is way beyond the pale.
I'm hearing you. There is one instance in captivity
cherry act.
that we have.
I'm not gonna let you cherry act to me, buddy. You grab that Dr. Pepper. I'll wait.
No,
I said I'm listening to you. Don't worry. I was just grabbing another soda. Go ahead.
Beyond the pale.
There is one instance in captivity. Put a Hamas headband on me?
I sure did.
There is one instance in captivity that we have actually gotten verifiable evidence on. Beyond that, the systematized mass rapes that Hamas dealt on October 7, not a single bit of that has been verified. And people still run with it over and over and over again.
Many young people who were simply attending a music festival, women were horribly raped.
I can't see myself, by the way, if you're showing me.
You're giggling. You're giggling. It's so funny.
Has a right to defend
No, I'm not
itself.
giggling.
You sure are.
Bro, what rapes did Hamas do? What are you talking about?
What rapes did
The
Hamas
Stop
do?
Anti-Semitism account that considered me to be anti-Semite of the week has also been hallucinating rapes once again, doing rape fantasies once again, because they're fucking mentally ill.
Hamas has committed.
That's something you go to a lot. You notice that? Call
What?
people mentally ill.
True.
I find that odd.
True.
Probably should revise that.
True.
I don't know if that's kosher for leftist values.
True.
Horrific acts
Yeah, I'm
of
not
sexual
exactly
violence.
you know.
I'm not exactly a. He's gonna don the other hat. Remember, if you're new here, I'm not gonna go through a full explanation of this, but basically, progressives are not Marxists. Okay, progressives are like the soy type people who are like, oh no, like you've got to be nice towards minorities and intersectionality and all that. Marxists will say retarded and they love guns and they will shit on minorities. They don't care. They only care about the class aspect of it. And Hassan is about to don his Marxist hat and say, I don't give a fuck about you know, making fun of women or any of that shit because I'm a cool Marxist guy. Okay, I'm just here about the class struggle, bro, and the anti-Western shit.
For leftist values.
Horrific acts
Yeah, I'm not exactly
violence.
you know, I'm not exactly doing a lot of stuff that's kosher for leftist values in
Okay,
general.
so
but
you have no problem weaponizing mental health.
Yeah, when someone is hallucinating, I think it's appropriate to say that.
By your authority, I will decide who's hallucinating. Hassan, watch this.
Horrific acts of sexual violence.
Ethan.
And
Hassan, I am so sorry. You promised that we would watch this. I pulled it up. Now sit silently and enjoy.
Okay, but I got the
Hamas
point. You're
has
saying that
committed
like you're
horrific
showing
acts of
clips of
sexual
me.
violence
You're showing clips of me
and
saying that someone is.
Hassan can never allow stuff to be played like on its own. Like when Hassan talks about context, it's the projection aspect. He has to control the context. He cannot allow anything to stand on its own. It has to be in his own environment. We can pause and interrupt it, or like clip compilation channels. Like for me, he watches the Destiny versus Destiny TikTok. It can never be the original content and never stand on its own. Now, to be fair, this isn't technically the original content. It's Ethan's context nuke, but Ethan includes a lot of context in here. And if Hassan wants to explain what context is missing, this is his opportunity to do so. He doesn't need to be interrupting and cutting it off all the time. Just let it play it and then explain it afterwards, right?
Men and boys slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people can't contend with. Like,
I can't believe how quickly leftists go from believe all women to Pixar didn't happen.
There you go, son. What do you got?
Pixar didn't happen.
That's
great commentary, by the way. Okay,
I mean,
so,
it's pretty apt.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay. You did actually, I'm surprised, you did actually show my findings on the UN committee report that came out.
Oh, surprise. Oh, so the no context thing doesn't work, or?
The one that you misrepresent continually?
I
you
did not
fucking
misrepresent
continually
the
lie
UN
about the
preliminary
conclusion?
report.
He does.
Wait, what did I misrepresent about the
Go
UN
ahead, you tell
preliminary report?
me what it said.
Ooh, uh-oh.
The UN preliminary report was not an investigative report, like, for example, the investigative report that came out about Israel's systematized sexual assaults that was 49 pages long.
Horrible. What a horrible thing that was.
Yeah, no,
Unironically.
absolutely.
Just unacceptable.
The level of evidence in a preliminary report is only enough to actually create an actual investigation. The problem is Israel has denied an actual investigation to take place. Israel has told the United Nations that they are not allowed to do an actual investigation and to simply listen to what they have to say.
So to be clear, when that special rapporteur or whatever for investigation of sexual violence against women or whatever went in, one of the reasons that they gave in that report had to do with the fact that victims didn't feel comfortable speaking with anybody because they were worried about the backlash that they would receive on the world stage. By the way, some of that backlash is crystallized in its most perfect form in The Intercept with authors like Peter Seville or something and Ryan Grimm, who say that all of their stories are lies. They're making all of it up. There was no systematized rape. Both of them were guests on Hassan's stream to talk about that very article. I don't know if Ethan has all that background, but Hassan did not read the underlying report. We read the whole thing on stream. It's uploaded, all my notes, took notes on it. Hassan doesn't know what was in that underlying report, and that's why he's lying about it, because he's just repeating what he's heard from pro-terrorist talking point networks. Jeremy Scotthill, whatever.
Israel has told the United Nations that they are not allowed to do an actual investigation and to simply listen to what they have to say. Now, not only is Israel...
There are literally women who have said, I was raped.
Do you feel like the Israeli government lies?
Do you? I mean, all governments lie. I'm not going to defend Israel.
I agree.
You said
they didn't talk to the government, though. They didn't interview the government. They interviewed, like, people, right? They talked to people. But Hassan wouldn't know that because he didn't read the... he didn't actually read the report.
There's women that come out and say, I was raped.
What?
There are women on the record, on video, saying, I was raped.
Like you're saying, you're saying there are multiple women that are on the record saying I was raped.
Correct.
There is, as far as I understand, one instance in captivity.
As far as you understand, because you don't give a fuck about the real
directed by Hamas. What?
Well, of course, that's as far as you can conclude, because you don't give a fuck about the truth. You just want to do propaganda, remember?
Ethan.
Hassan, please, calm down.
Okay.
You're getting worked up.
I don't know why you're behaving in such a childish manner when we are actually talking about finally some serious stuff.
Oh, finally some serious stuff. Okay.
Okay.
In terms of the UN preliminary report and the findings, okay, there is a clear-cut lack of evidence for any forensic examination to take place due to the incompetence of the Israeli government and specifically...
It has nothing to do with it wasn't the incompetence of the Israeli government. It was the fact that they were time limited. I believe they had 2 weeks to do this investigation, and they said they didn't have much time, number one. The second issue was the destruction of evidence, which didn't have to do with the incompetence of the government. It had to do with the incompetence of people like the Zaka volunteers or just Israeli desire in general to bury their dead very quickly, and because of the general chaos and hecticness of the actual situation itself, which was a fucking full-scale invasion into Israel, which also led to the destruction of a lot of evidence. Believe it or not, unlike the pro-Palestinian, propaganda network, a lot of Israelis don't really feel comfortable having bodies of people just remaining on the ground with their legs open and their clothes torn off to take, to take 450 videos for people like Hassan to masturbate to on his stream while he's doing anti-Israeli propaganda.
Specifically, the organization Zakah.
Yes, he's bringing up the volunteer. Yeah, but this volunteering thing didn't discredit all of them. And the issue with these people was them burying bodies way too quickly before forensic evidence could be found because it was part of their culture ritual shit. It wasn't a coordinated effort by the government to hide the evidence.
Spent most of its time in the immediate aftermath of October 7 taking...
He's going to say taking bodies and trying to hide the evidence, or is he actually going to genuinely represent what was going on here?
Bodies out of body bags and putting them into Zakah branded body bags. This was reported by Haaretz as well. They polluted the evidence pool. Okay?
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, numerous people that came out and offered eyewitness testimony have since then been discredited, also according to Haaretz reporting.
Which article?
There's one guy that I think his story was not true. I think he might have been also one of the Zaka volunteers. There is one guy that is true, but that wasn't true for all of them. That's not the case. Not everybody has been discredited, and some of the quote-unquote discrediting that happens is bullshit. So, but okay.
No, I mean,
what's the Haaretz article that accuses victims of sexual assault of lying about it? Go ahead and link me that one. And by the way, while you look for that,
no, not victims of sexual assault, Ethan. I'm using my words very carefully.
Right.
Not
of course, I remember you do that.
Witness.
Not victims of sexual assault. Eyewitness testimony initially provided that led people to believe that there were sexual assaults that were.
But the guy who no, I think I even remember the guy who was talking about. I think this was an IDF guy. I think he was in the IDF, or it might not have been. But there is a quote-unquote debunking of this done by Blumenthal in the fucking gray zone, and these guys are insane people. And he says that, like, because the interviews this guy gave, his story changed it or whatever. But if you go back and you actually watch the full things and not just the clips show up on Twitter, this is all a fucking lie. But they're not going to get that far into this, I think. We'll see.
Taking place.
Show me the source.
Were then discredited.
Show me the source. By the way, Hassan, while you look for that, I'm assuming that you're quoting the UN Representative Secretary General on Sexual Violence and Conflicts report, right? This is one everyone refers to. Now, are you aware how these kind of papers work? They do a very precise conclusion at the end that summarizes the main thesis and points driven home in the article. That's what the conclusion is. Let me read it for you. Overall, based on the totality of information gathered from multiple and independent sources at different locations, there are reasonable grounds to believe that conflict-related sexual violence occurred at several locations across the Gaza periphery, including in the form of rape, gang rape, during the October 7th, 2023 attack. Credible, circumstantial information which may be indicative of some forms of sexual violence, including genital mutilation, sexualized torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment, was also gathered.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm gonna walk.
Are they hallucinating?
No. So you just don't know what words mean. So credible circumstantial evidence. Do you know what that means?
First of all, just to be clear, almost all crimes, especially things like rape, are proved with circumstantial evidence. It is very rare to have direct eyewitness testimony. When you go to the police station and you get a rape kit done, that's circumstantial evidence. All that can show is some potentially some damage to your body and whether or not you have cum in you, right? That's what a rape kit is. A rape kit doesn't show that a rape happened. It just shows that some sexual contact happened. That's circumstantial evidence. All DNA evidence is circumstantial evidence. So if Hassan is about to go on some tirade about how circumstantial evidence isn't real or whatever, it's fucking retarded. But sorry, well,
no. So you just don't know what words mean. So credible circumstantial evidence. Do you know what that means?
It means that there's of course.
Credible circumstantial evidence is not a substitute for forensic evidence.
Oh God, he's so stupid. Please, Ethan, please know this. Please know this, Ethan, please. Unless you're talking about like a video camera recording a crime directly, a lot of forensic evidence is circumstantial. Please, Ethan, please.
Well, I said picture didn't happen, bro.
Not
you need
enough
rape
to
kits.
prosecute.
Hassan needs rape kits.
Circumstantial evidence is not enough.
Ethan doesn't know. Even a rape kit is technically that's circumstantial evidence.
It didn't happen, right?
Prosecute rape, which is precisely the reason why the Israeli prosecutors themselves have said that in the absence of a singular victim coming out, and also with all of the forensic evidence that has been tarnished already.
Show me evidence for anything you're saying.
What?
It's not. Show me evidence for anything you're claiming that isn't some unhinged freak on Twitter. Believe all women, hey? Hey, are we believing all women unless they're Israeli? Right after the October 7th Hamas attack in Israel, Zaka, the disaster victim identification volunteers, were among the first civilians responding on the scene. Zaka is an Israeli rescue and recovery organization primarily staffed by ultra-Orthodox Jewish volunteers, known for their work in collecting human remains for proper burial according to Jewish law. I think what happened is, a lot of what happened is that, obviously you don't rape someone and then keep them alive, right? So most of them were murdered, and a lot of the forensic evidence...
I'm sending Dan the PBS article about how 2 debunked accounts of sexual violence on October 7 fueled the global dispute over Israel-Hamas war. This is from May 22nd, 2022. This is about the witness testimony that was discredited, okay?
But so even if one account was discredited, there's many.
No, it's not one account, it's 2 accounts, but the rest
there's
of the...
way more than 2 accounts. Hassan, you know what you're doing? You're like, this girl lied about being raped, therefore all these women need to be questioned. That's actually what you're doing. You're saying Pixar didn't happen. I don't believe women if they're Israeli.
Can you point me to actual, like, to victims that came out?
Yes.
Because as far as I understand...
Literally, they've done interviews. They're on media. Like, you can... But, I mean, okay.
Israeli police have asked victims and witnesses to testify about Hamas and sexual violence in the aftermath of October 7th. And Israeli police have asked victims and witnesses to testify about Hamas and sexual violence in the aftermath of October 7th. And it seems like their investigations were inconclusive because by the admission of the Israeli prosecution,
show me evidence of anything you're saying.
They openly said that there were no victims that came out.
Yeah, let me guess. You read it on Haaretz.
You don't... Wait. Do you think that Haaretz is not a credible institution of journalism at this point?
No, but you guys lean on that. You just lie about what it says because it sounds credible.
Who is you guys?
You and all of your fucking dumbass cohorts to do the same typical like rhetorical tools to just say whatever the fuck you want without ever having to back it up or knowing what you're talking about in the least bit. So show me the evidence. Haaretz boy.
I sent debunked narratives. Damn. And also, here is the Israeli prosecutor Morangetz has acknowledged that 50 months after the events of October 7, 2023, Israel has still not identified any victims in which a case can be brought against an alleged perpetrator of a sexual attack.
They're all dead.
The admission is in line with...
Yeah, what Hassan, what do you think you're reading? Do you even know how to read? What are you talking about? Haven't identified people that have a perpetrator that a case can be brought against? Like, hello?
Complete lack of any credible evidence regarding incidents of sexual violence, which is particularly notable when these claimed facts.
They're all dead.
The admission is in line with a complete lack of any credible evidence regarding incidents of sexual violence, which is particularly notable when these claimed. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this foundation is, but
you don't even know the articles you're reading because you haven't done any research. Why would you try to do this on the fly? You haven't researched any of this. Why are you pulling up articles on the fly to try to post hoc justify your insane statements? Bro, come on.
Who's reporting on this? I don't know why
They're all dead,
link of this.
Do you think what is your point? What you said doesn't change anything. You're talking about. Do you think
Ethan,
that they raped people and then didn't kill them?
You said that there are victims. Can you give me the names of the victims?
Yes.
I will. First of all, I am not in the business of denying rape. If there are victims that have come forward in this process,
I will play it for you.
As I've said, there was an instance of sexual assault that took place in captivity, and it was not a systematized rape that was directed by Hamas, as the New York Times.
Also, how funny is this, right? Hassan was so eager to get off the personal points because he doesn't want to be held accountable for his abhorrent behavior, right? Which is fair because there's no defense of it. He wanted to talk about the serious stuff, but he's not even prepared to talk about the serious stuff. Hello?
This erroneous reporting that did not meet its own standard, its own editorial standard, as a matter of fact, written by a person who literally was taken off the editorial board, taken off the actual paper for some of her insane tweets about Gaza.
What does that have to do with the reporting? Oh, he's talking about the New York Times writer, the lady who wrote the something, only silence or screams. I don't know what the fuck the name of the article was. Ryan Grimm and the other Intercept guys fucking hated this lady. Holy shit.
Of these, like, there's a lot of stories surrounding this, but I'm not in the business of fucking denying rape. So if you have credible evidence, please present it, and I will admit that I'm wrong. Give me the names.
Yeah. There's a video. Hold on.
Is the video from Screams Without Violence? Is that what you're going to present?
No, it's not from that.
Also, this Screams Without Violence, that was like the first article that was written about this. This was the very first like start of people actually getting into like doing investigative work on this, investigative journalism on this. So this is an old as fuck article.
There's one recently of a woman testifying, I think it was either in the UN or to Congress. She's sitting on a bench, she's talking to a mic, and she's speaking in English. Yeah, we'll get there. But like, yeah, I mean, what's your problem with Sheryl Sandberg's documentary?
Sandberg?
Sheryl Sandberg has also been accused of sexual harassment herself, but outside of that,
what? Okay, wouldn't that make her a pro at identifying it? I'm sorry, just kidding.
What the fuck does that have to do with what's written in her documentary?
Thank you, good point.
Her documentary is basically the unsubstantiated claims that some of which were directly found to be incorrect. But not only is it unsubstantiated claims, it's just a recycling of the same Screams Without Violence, the Screams Without Words article that the New York Times wrote that didn't even meet its own editorial standard. Okay, we're having this conversation. You seemingly act like you care about sexual violence taking place against Israelis. Meanwhile, one of the hostages that actually was returned in the early stages did get raped by an Israeli fitness instructor.
There we go.
You know, I have not seen you talk about that. I have not seen you talk about the Israeli pro-rape riots that took place.
Israel did unrelated to the conflict.
Israel had a January 6th style. Israel had a January 6th style pro-rape riot where a bunch of rabid right-wing.
Do you think I'm defending this?
I'm not defending this. The prosecutor's office and forcibly with guns took out 6 concentration camp prison guards from the Sede Taman facility that had actually raped numerous Palestinians on camera.
Are you done grandstanding? Here's a victim.
One that they raped to death.
Are you done? Here's a victim you asked for. Here we go. This is from, I think there was an even more recent one than this, but where's the audio? Fuck. Hold on, let me unmute.
Unable to move and had to ask for permission to use the bathroom. In that house, I was sexually assaulted by the Hamas terrorist who had guarded me. He forced me to go to the shower and entered the room, pointed his gun at me. He was breathing heavily and had a monstrous beast-like face. He meticulously planned his assault, scheming and waiting for the moment to have his way. He kept asking me private sexual questions while sitting next to me in his underwear, lifting my shirt, touching me, and constantly asking me when my period would be over.
Sorry, just to butt in here. Is she lying yet or no? Is she lying or hallucinating?
Ethan, have I ever said that rapes did not take place, at least according to one credible personal testimony in captivity? Not on October 7th, but in captivity?
Kind of, yeah. Yes.
Over.
You're doing it right now.
What do you mean, I know exactly what he was planning to do.
You literally
I couldn't do anything to prevent it.
Wait, pause it for a second.
No, listen to what she has to say, Hassan. Hassan, don't silence her. Let her fucking talk. No, because you're acting like this never happened, that it's exaggerated, that everybody's lying, that Israelis are just inherently evil monsters that are responsible for everything bad that's ever happened. Listen to her.
Cry, or to be sad.
Listen to her words.
I had no one to comfort me and was forced to act nice
to
the person who had just
Listen to this victim. Show her some respect, Hassan.
Horrifying way.
Oh, it's so gross.
Not a day goes by that I don't think about what that terrible man did to me.
It is. You're
show respect,
brother. That's fucking gross.
Never be subject to
pull the fucking plug on this. Holy shit.
Now,
you really have no problem speaking over a rape victim when they're Israeli.
Dude, you don't give a about rape. Look, what are you doing? Look at what you're doing. I never said that no one ever got sexually assaulted in
First male rape survivor of Hamas on October 7th.
I literally said in the video.
A man who was stripped naked and raped by Hamas on October 7th has revealed for the first time how he was spat on and humiliated as his murderous rapist left. The victim, only identified as initial D, was the first man to speak about the sexual assault he and others experienced when Hamas elite the Nakba unit massacred, kidnapped, and raped innocent people enjoying the Supernova music festival. They pin you down to the ground. You try to resist. They take off your clothes, laugh at you, humiliate you, spit on you. Said the victim who's hold on.
Okay, listen to me. Listen to my words
touch my
very
private
carefully,
parts, they
because
rape
you're not going through this in a dignified way, and I think it's very gross. What you're doing here is simply weaponizing a victim
so
as a fucking prop. A victim that I also acknowledged.
Silence.
And you know I acknowledged it because you posted it in your video that you just showed me.
Here's the clip.
Reveals that sexual assault and rape was a regular component of the life as a hostage in Gaza.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happened on October 7th.
Hassan, maybe you would like to call her a liar. Please, go right ahead.
You're doing it matter if fucking rapes happened on October 7th.
There are dozens of testimonies from witnesses, most of who were in hiding and heard.
Oh, yeah. Ethan,
are you denying that?
You said in the beginning, I'm going to use my words very carefully here. In the beginning, you said on October 7th, there were numerous victims of sexual violence. That you said, not me, you said that there were numerous victims of sexual violence that actually came forward. So I ask you for names of the numerous victims of sexual violence on October 7th. Because
hold on.
You're saying only assault that took place.
Wait, you're saying they have to have been on
that report. I looked at that same UN report and said that there was valid, credible, firsthand testimony on sexual assault.
I wish you had the energy you have
not on October
for
7th.
the Israelis raping people. As I wish you had the same energy for the Palestinian terrorists raping people. I wish you had the same energy.
Because I can't invent rapes. You have not given me any names. What are you talking about?
I'm showing you people and names. What do you mean?
It's so violent to deny the suffering and trauma of the victim.
If there are victims,
you know what? This is not going anywhere. Let's just move on. Yeah, let's just.
What do you mean? You can't just move on from this. This is a major point of contention. You have falsely smeared me as a rape denier when you yourself, the one evidence.
You deny mass rapes happened, and you're doing it.